Hello, Mile High Nation. This is Dr. Joel Kinch. I'm out of the basement and I'm up in the office here finally, and we are here with another Mile High podcast. Looking forward to this one. Spectacularly, it came together at the perfect time for Dr. Wade Port and I get together. Dr. Wade is with he leads MLSseminars.com. He's an integral part of the Mile High weekend, which is coming up September 26th through the 29th. If you haven't registered, you get to milehighchiro.org. He's integral to the vibration of what goes on that weekend, especially setting people up on a Saturday morning. We'll talk a little bit about that. But Dr. Wade, it's a great pleasure having you here this week for a Mile High podcast.
It's good to see your face, Joel, right now for sure.
Yes, yes. So I'm just going to jump right to it. You're an incredible man and adjuster, but I love your mindset and your heart of what you bring to chiropractic, especially to the Mile High seminar this Saturday mornings. You start the day off incredible with your breakout session, just starting the day off right and getting people prepared and aware of what's happening with themselves and what's going to be happening and getting ready to open and receive what's going on. Tell us a little bit about what you do on that Saturday morning, and maybe we talk about our history with that and where all that came from.
Yeah, it's a great honor to have a morning session. Your Green Book sessions are phenomenal on Friday. They set the tone, and then I don't consider it my session. If you've been, you know that we got the whole stage is full of people. It's everybody come up. We're passing the ball, passing the baton, and that's what our community, that's what our village of people being of service and really coming together for a collective vision and mission is doing. And so it's not this one person leading from the front. It's sure for whatever reason my name might be on the bill, but this is all of us together. Everybody get up front. Let's go. Let's move. Let's pray. Let's breathe. And let's get this vessel cleared out and ready to receive and serve. And man, it sets the tone for that Saturday, just like you do on Friday. And it is palpable. And it's a macrocosm because of the number of people, but it's also a microcosm of what we have been inspired to do in our offices, whether that's a mission trip, whether that's in our little town, our big city, wherever it might be, to create that ritual in our lives. And that should have spillover to the ceremony for my daughter's birthday. That doesn't look like a typical mainstream kid's birthday when she's going to start school. The ceremony that we do at sunrise in the backyard with the four directions and the what we've done there, just right to play with passion, to quote an Arno epigram, requires fierce discipline. And so it's just easier together. I don't know about you, but when my workout partner sends me a message and bails on me, I can waver way too easy.
Oh.
I need accountability in my life, and I seek that out from people like you and my team members. And I please, we got to lift each other up, and that Saturday morning can set the tone, and we want it to spill over in inspiration to become a ritual in people's offices, but certainly throughout their life.
Yeah, absolutely. It does start that Saturday great. If I can ask you, you and I have a long history of knowing each other many, many years, going back to
24 years, over 20.
Going back to Masterpiece training camps out in Durango, Colorado, the home state for me now. It's where I first ran into the light we call Arno Brunier, and the importance of that morning ritual. I had my routine before that those camps, but Arno took it to the stratosphere. He took it to outer space of what it really means to get into that morning routine and ritual and preparing yourself. Is that the impact you got from him? And is that where, not the hook was set, but where this passion for you came from?
Quick answer, not really. It wasn't the push-ups and the 5 a.m.s and earlier that we were getting up on those at the camps. It was everything in its congruency was set up in such a congruent manner that it could take someone like me who had, just like you, just like everybody else, has those inborn potentialities, and kind of it was like a freaking spiritual MRI machine. You know how it takes all the ions and electrons and does boom and does that with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it did. If my cells and my consciousness was doing this, just in his presence, as you know, and it wasn't just his, and that's why he was like the hub of the wheel, because he introduced me to you. He introduced me to Sue and Lou and Jay and Michael and the whole, and Amy and Val and the whole crew. And because he wasn't trying to put himself on a pedestal, and he collected all these brilliant people and lifted us up, boom, right? It could have everything line up in congruency. And another epigram, which I'm glad they're coming out, is integrity creates a force field of aliveness, right? And whether it's Saturday morning, so I needed that, right? I needed that structure and that discipline in order to bring the God-given gift out to the world. It needed a vehicle that had integrity. I was a kind person, I was a loving person, but all those pieces. And if his discipline for his own life was here, that's like a rare, unmatched thing in life. But if everybody else is floating down here, he could at least pull everybody up with inspiration. And it's definitely what happened. So obviously the art form, I'll say that's what did it for me, Joel. And actually, I met him at an MLS seminar before I went to my first camp. And that's when I had a collective soul-ridden sigh of relief of, thank God, he's able to show me with my two hands what I knew was possible with the sacred philosophy. Because what I was seeing in the field and in schools was nowhere near what I knew
And
needed.
that's powerful, because most people will look at Arno and Arno's life and think of him as a philosophy man. And he was, don't get me wrong, he was a philosophy man, but he was an art man. He was a science man. He truly brought the three legs of the stool together. He was a powerful man in understanding and living the philosophy of chiropractic, but he also taught you and understood and was a master of the art form of chiropractic.
Correct. It was always emphasizing and impressing upon us it has to be the totality of philosophy, science, and art. And interestingly, what I've observed is, because of the MLS movement has taken such roots and spread and grown through many other avenues, that what I've noticed out in the field is it's become way too art heavy, and certainly the circles that I run in. And my caution is, whoa, the art without the philosophy and the science is not total. It's not the totality of the triune. And it's not going to be as potent and powerful for people.
And one of the things I encourage people who have never been to Mile High that weekend is it's very similarly perceived throughout the profession of to be this rah-rah philosophical weekend, and just focusing and hammering on the philosophy, the why behind chiropractic, but the art that's taught there, bringing in those legends of the technique of the next generation coming up, the science that we get there. We truly bring it all together, which is, looking at it now as we speak, a great legacy to be left. And I know Danny would say the same thing, that impact Arno had on Danny's life, along with his father and those types of things. But it's a great way to remember him. I'm going to be thinking about that all weekend of the impact. I mean, the impact there. He spoke at Mile High many several times as well. In that, where do you see his impact through your work in MLS and the seminars that you do? How do you see his impact moving forward in what it is that you do in chiropractic, and you becoming a hub of the wheel and the spokes going out?
One of the things that I take solace in is when somebody who trained with Arno for years and years and years, even decades ago, or as early as 5 years ago, when they come to a program that either I'm leading or our team is leading, and time again, they will pull us aside and say, wow, this is so incredibly true to how it felt and how it was received when Arno was teaching. And so for me, that's the benchmark, because they know the difference. And so I take great solace in that. I'm very proud of that. And nobody will ever be Arno. So I'm not going to try. I have my own spidey powers, and I will continue to use them to the best of my ability. And I have my skill sets that Arno didn't have. Right. And that's where he put me in the position to start teaching the advanced stuff, because he always wanted that, the different aspects that I was really good at that he didn't really necessarily might have. He wanted it folded in. He knew it needed to be there, but that's why he got you at the camps. That's why he got Sue at the camps, to bring those different aspects that weren't his primary gifts. And so it's really well rounded out. And we're just going to keep making programs that are congruent with the philosophy, science, and art of chiropractic, and we'll see.
If you are just joining us, I'm here with Dr. Wade Port with MLSseminars.com, and he's an integral part of what's going on at Mile High. If you aren't registered, milehighchiro.org. We love return attendees, and we grow exponentially every year at Mile High. If you haven't been, I highly encourage you to take a step of faith, take a leap of faith. If you haven't been after 12 years, it's time you show up. Check it out. Join us, bring your team. We have family breakouts, team breakouts. Actually, the most powerful feedback we get is from team members after the seminar. And the team members saying, hey, Doc, we're going back to this next year. Put it in the calendar right now. We cover it all, philosophy, science, art, September 26th through the 29th, milehighchiro.org. Please, if you are coming, get to the hotel link from the website and get your room, because we're already close to selling out and we're weeks away from the event. To finish this off, it's just good to see your face, Wade, after the last couple of days that have come.
There's going to be more. Stay plugged into, the MLS channels, and if you're just catching the tail end of this magic carpet ride that this man invited us on, I think the transmission of wisdom will flow through. And just to mention again, at Mile High, which main reason I'm there is because of Arno. And it's not like anything I've ever been to. The people there are extraordinary. Anybody in the audience could be teaching a section at any time.
Yeah.
And I never leave on Sunday evening the same, and practice is never the same Monday morning. My life is altered every year when I go there, and that's what I'm seeking. And it's like this incredible multi-dimensional experience that you get to have, your experience that you are meant to have in that program through the weekend experience. And it's very different for everybody. So come ready to receive, and you'll be glad you did.
If I can steal something from you, get to Mile High, because it's a chiropractic philosophy, art, and science MRI.
That's right.
I love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Thank you for taking the time. I will see you in a couple weeks.
Right.
Again, as we leave I have to do it. Get to milehighchiro.org. But we love you. We look forward to seeing you. And for everyone out there, as always, be well within, and we'll see you soon.